You'll need 2 punch bowls that have some cool texture designs on the side, plus a condiment cup or some sort of round bowl. The first step is drilling holes into your punch bowls and condiment cups. You only need to drill holes in half of the pieces, and I'm using, once your holes are drilled, it's time to add some color. I took my punch bowls and condiment cups outside for a coat of spray paint. I dug into my paint stash and chose a bright green for one ornament and a muted olive green for the other. Once the paint was dry, I wanted to give these ornaments a bit more dimension and that extra holiday sparkle, so I grabbed my trusty gold rub and buff. I squeezed just a tiny amount of the rub and buff onto a dry foam brush and lightly brushed it over the raised textures on the side of the punch bowls. This gives the ornament some really beautiful depth. I used gold string, folded in half, and threaded it through the holes that I had drilled earlier. A toothpick really helped me push the string through the hole. Once the string is in, use hot glue to secure that condiment cup to the top of your punch bowl, and then knot the loose ends of the string underneath, and there you go, a perfect hanging loop for your ornament. Next up, it's time to put everything together. I applied hot glue around the entire edge of one punch bowl and then pressed the second punch bowl on the top to create a round ornament. I found some cute greenery springs that I already had in my holiday decor stash and hot glued them on the top of the ornaments for that final touch. This really brought everything together and gave these ornaments a really festive flair. These are perfect for your front porch or really anywhere you want to display them in your home. These turned out really pretty, don't you think?
Today's project starts with picking up 6 bowls from the Dollar Tree, but first we got to trace out 2 circles along some boards. Once we get those traced out, we're just going to use a jigsaw and cut them out. Once we get them cut out all the way around the circles, we're just going to give them a sanded edge just to get rid of all those little loose splinters. Once we get them all cut out, we got to lay those 6 bowls out because we got to give them a frosted look. So we're going to lay them out on some cardboard, take some white spray paint, but don't spray it too hard. What we want is just, like I said earlier, a frosted look. So just give it a light touch. Now, one of the round bases that we have, we're going to paint that white. It's going to take about 2 coats. And the other one's going to get a black spray paint. I'll show you why later. That's probably going to definitely need 2 coats and both sides. When we get those bowls in, we're going to mark a circle on all of those around the tops. We're going to go ahead and cut those out. Now, I use a hot knife. Anything else you use could crack these bowls. So you take the hot knife, get it up to temperature, and just go ahead and spin it around till you get that cut out. Now, you don't have to do it to all 6. I did just because I didn't know which ones I were going to use on the top or the bottom. Now, I did cut out a hole on the side. That way I can get an extension cord through there. But I'm going to take some hot glue on one bowl, flip it over on the white base, and that's going to be our first starter bowl. Next, we're going to go take that hot glue in a couple of the areas, and we're going to glue a lot of these bowls together, bottom to bottom. See the holes? They're going to match up with each other, and I'll show you why we need to do that later. Once we get these bowls lined up, I'm going to go ahead and fill in all the gaps with some hot glue. Now, take that base and we're going to stick a cord through it with our lights. I went a little overkill with the lights, but these were some string lights that I wasn't going to use anymore around the house, so I went ahead and used them. But what we're going to do is pull all these lights through all the bowls, all the layers. Once we take that first base, we're going to go ahead and take the next step and we're going to hot glue that down also. Want to make sure you don't burn yourself. I just put it in a few spots and make sure it's lined up with the top. We're just going to work our way up the top, pulling the lights through the holes that we cut out as we go up. And we're going to have 3 layers of these double stacked bowls, one on top of the other. We're going to stick the last bowl, but I'm going to put a tie on this one. I saw this at the Dollar Tree and it was super cute, so I had to put it on that first layer. Next, let's put some of that hot glue down and we're going to put that black circle on top. And then I got a nice little painted bucket from Dollar Tree. We're going to put it on. Now we're going to add some decoration to our snowman here. And there he is. And once we plug it in, look at that thing light up. Isn't it gorgeous sitting by the tree? Put a little bit of holly right on top of the hat. And remember, we got that tie that's on there. Just giving our snowman a little extra touch. I think this thing turned out so well, and I hope this inspired you to build your own Dollar Tree snowman bowl.
All right, so we're gonna get started with, I believe I have 5 of these bowls. You can find them in the party section at Dollar Tree. So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna be taking my hot glue gun, and I'm also gonna be taking some super glue, and I'm going to be attaching these bowls face to face. So we'll start with the super glue. And as that sits for a moment, I am going to go back in with my hot glue. Before we recreate this same idea, what I want to do is I want to give this a little bit of weight. So what we're going to be using is we're going to be using plaster of Paris. Essentially, the way you're going to mix this is you're going to do 2 parts plaster of Paris, 1 part cold water. So we're just going to stir it until it's kind of like a smooth texture. And then we're going to let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes. All right, so this is actually still drying, and I realized that I can actually glue this and then let it finish drying with the other bowl on top of it. So we are going to take our hot glue and go around the edge. Okay, and we're gonna flip this over. All right, so we are going to allow this to finish setting. It's gonna take about 20 to 30 minutes to set, and then we're gonna finish this project. All right, for this step, I'm gonna be using this Rustic Brown Wood Effects water-based stain by Behr. It is in the color Rustic Brown, and it is water-based, so you don't necessarily need to wear gloves for this part, it's optional. So we're gonna go ahead and open this up, and you'll notice that I also have a foam brush, and I also have this wood plaque I got at Dollar Tree in the $5 section. Not all Dollar Trees have this. You have to make sure that the one you're going to does, otherwise you won't be able to find this. But it's just a wood plaque, and I'm gonna be staining the whole thing. And we're just gonna go with the wood grain across. Since this is a raw wood finish, really no sanding is necessary since it's already natural. But if you are working with something that maybe you need to sand down first, that is also fine. Okay, so we're gonna wait just a couple more minutes and then we're gonna wipe it away. Okay, now we're back. It's been about 5 minutes. I'm gonna take a rag that I've been using and I'm just gonna wipe it away. All right, so we're gonna do one more coat, just like we did this one, and then we will do this side as well. And when we are back, we will move on to the next step. Okay, so now this part is pretty dry. The plaster of Paris is in there, it's not moving, and it is ready to be covered with our other bowls. So we're gonna take this set that we created. We're gonna set it on top. And I'm gonna do super glue, and then I'm gonna do some of my Gorilla Hot Glue again. So taking my super glue, going around. I'm gonna flip this over. Make sure it sticks like right in the middle. All right, so now I'm gonna be using some vinyl spackle. So this spackle is already a white color. We are going to start adding spackle to the surface. And it doesn't need to be super neat. You can make it a little messy. Just add a lot of texture. So I'm putting a lot on and then I'm kind of letting it kind of drop down, but also trying to even it out as I go. So we're just gonna keep going all the way around until this whole stack of bowls is covered. And then we will be back for the next step. Okay, for my next step, I'm gonna be taking my last bowl and we're gonna be gluing it to the top, especially now that this part is dried. And we are going to finish bringing this spackle, this textured finish, to this layer as well. So I'm gonna put my super glue on first. And then we're gonna take my glue gun with my Gorilla Glue sticks to add a lot of glue to make it stick. Actually, go ahead and take some on this side too. And then we'll move on to the next step. Now for this last step, I'm gonna continue to use the vinyl spackle that I was using earlier for this part, but I am almost out of it, so I will be switching over to a Drydex spackle. It actually looks pink when it's wet and it dries white. So I know that it won't look bad once it's drying, but if it looks different, that's why. But I have a decent amount of spackle left, and this is also a great opportunity to go back over the spots that maybe I didn't get completely. So So we're gonna keep covering this. So when I'm done with this step and we let it dry, we will be back. So for our final step, what we're gonna be doing is we are going to be taking our wood round piece and we are going to be attaching it to the top of this table. And we're gonna do it one of two ways. I'm gonna be using some E6000 and I'm also gonna be using my glue gun with my Gorilla Glue sticks to make this happen. So I'm gonna start with my E6000 because E6000 definitely, once it's cured completely, it will have a really powerful hold. Okay, so we are going to flip this over. Careful, don't burn yourself. I want to place it pretty quickly before it dries. Here is the finished product. I'm very happy with how this side table turned out. I spent less than $15 on this, sourcing everything from the Dollar Tree minus the glue. I think it looks great in my living room as a little side table for guests when they're over to hold on to beverages or just decor. Thank you so much for watching Home Talk, and I will see you in the next one.